Testing. Hello? It's the Above It All live show. It's a live program. It's happening live. It's the Above It All show. Today is Monday. It's the last Monday of the May. Today. Here live. So good morning, users and viewers. Good morning. Here to talk about the news. Today, this is a news show. So I'm going to talk about the news. There's, you know what's going on. Talking about the news today. Got Democrats, everybody. Anyone? Democrats? Am I right, people? So it's Monday, everyone. Welcome to Monday. Glad to have you here. So, today I'm going to be talking about, the news. I'm going to be talking about Democrats. Am I right? I'm going to be talking about Republicans, too. We're going to be talking about, corporations. Anyone here like corporations? Yep. All right. You may or may not have heard the news about the debt ceiling. The debt ceiling of the United States is a totally manufactured crisis. The United States is a country that has a terrible constitution where extremely crucial aspects of how the country operates, they just forgot to mention in the Constitution. So much so that we had to wait until, like the 14th Amendment or, in a lot of cases, we had to wait until, 19th Amendment, 20th Amendment to get basic things done. That's a whole different story. Anyway, the debt ceiling, apparently it's a crisis that the U.S. started, for some reason. The Democrats, right, what could they have done during the during the time where, I don't know, that they had power. Remember, does anyone know that? Like, fucking 6 months ago, they had power. They had 7 months ago, they had control over Congress, right? They could have done something about the debt ceiling then. No, they decided not to. And apparently Joe Biden could have just said, hey, Kevin McCarthy's talking tough, but I can override you with the Constitution's 14th Amendment. Didn't do that. Instead, Joe Biden decided, what did he decide to do, everybody? To give it all away. Just like Mike Bloomberg's money during that Democratic debate. Remember, Mike Bloomberg at the Democratic debate was saying, it's okay that I'm a billionaire because I gave all my money away. That's basically Joe Biden with Social Security, SNAP, and other programs. He's just going to give it all away to the Republicans. Now, again, I saw this coming. Anyone with a brain saw this coming, right? Joe Biden, is he going to do the right thing, or is he going to give Republicans everything that they want? Joe Biden can't resist being a working class villain and giving away everything and more to the Republicans. He just doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't give a shit about you. whatsoever. All the pretend hand waving, all of that doesn't matter. So anyway, CNN here has this guy. We're being shown this guy. We're not going to look at this guy, but they're going to tell us what's in the debt ceiling bill, and then this guy is going to be scrolled the fuck away. So, after several weeks of tense negotiations, tense negotiations, by the way, is pretty funny. Like, we're supposed to believe that, like, this was, like, they were actually, like, you know, playing, like, a fucking 20-dimensional chess match, and, like, Joe Biden had to get a fucking statin prescription just to be able to get through these fucking meetings, you know? I knew this was a bunch of shit when they said that Joe Biden was having a meeting with Kevin McCarthy up until midnight. Yeah, the same Joe Biden that said that he can't schedule any meetings after 4 o'clock is actually doing late night meetings with Kevin McCarthy. Yeah, okay, I'm sure it's extremely tense. The drama is by no means over. Congressional leaders in both parties have to convince enough of their members to support the agreement, which contains provisions that lawmakers on either side of the aisle don't support. The bill text was released on Sunday evening. So CNN decided, we're going to read the bill and we're going to tell you what's going on here. So thank you, CNN, so that I don't have to read this bill. Let's be honest, I wouldn't have read the bill. So let's see what CNN has to say. The agreement would suspend the debt limit through January 1, 2025. This removes it as a potential issue in the 2024 presidential election. Does it? Like, does it? If the debt ceiling bull is going to be a thing on January 1, 2025, right? You know, I don't know, man. You can say whoever the party who's running to win that election, what are the, you know, the idea, I don't know, man. That's just like, I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to sell us here. Under the deal, non-defense spending would remain relatively flat in fiscal 2024. Does anyone remember this conspiracy theory that was being promoted on right-wing circles and media? That the right was actually the working class heroes, and they're going to cut, like, Ukraine spending or whatever and give it all away to the working class. Well, now we have the opposite. The war industry is getting more money, and whoops, Social Security, food stamps, and so on and so forth are boop. So the exact opposite that Republicans claimed would happen is what's happening. Whoa! Didn't see that one coming. Wow, the adjustments include shifting $20 billion in IRS funding to other non-defense areas and rescinding $30 billion in unobligated COVID-19 relief funding. I love that, by the way. So we declare victory on the pandemic, as the pandemic is now in the worst spot yet. It is actually as bad as it's ever been. It's just you don't hear about it because the media decided it's not important. They would rather you get sick and die, right? So, let's take the money that we just decided not to spend on the pandemic, you know? Remember when we were pretending to care about the pandemic? Yeah, well, they just let all that money sit in the fucking bank. And now we're just going to take that away to do what with? To fill in the gaps on people's Social Security and the IRS funding. Oh, wow. After fiscal 25, there will be no budget caps, according to the official. The House GOP fact sheet says non-defense discretionary spending would be rolled back to fiscal 22 levels, and top-line federal spending limit would be limited to 1% annual growth. Basically what this means is they're trying to, in the future, make it more difficult to expand these things, as well as preventing any big, movement to try to uncap this stuff in the near future, right? So they're trying to say, look, we just fixed it. We fixed it, everyone. No one's going to need to do anything about this for at least 5 to 10 years because we fixed it. It's like, do you remember this bipartisan gun reform thing? Do you remember that fucking song and dance when there was like the school shooting? I forget which one of them. Maybe it was Uvalde. I don't know. Maybe it was the other one after that. Who knows? And then Joe Biden was like, we're going to do this bipartisan gun reform. And then they did bipartisan gun reform. And then they said, we did it, everybody. We did gun reform. And then there were like 38 other mass shootings, 15 other mass shootings in schools. And then everyone's like, well, but they did gun reform. So, I mean, what are you going to do, right? So all it does when they claim that they're fixing these certain things. It's just a way to kick the can so that every time you ask them to actually fix the situation for real, they're saying, oh, no, I just fixed it like yesterday. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Protect veterans' medical care. The deal would maintain full funding for veterans' health care and would increase support for the PACT Act's Toxic Exposure Fund. Oh, wow, that's great. Expands work requirements. What is this one, huh? Let's find out. The agreement calls for temporarily broadening of work requirements for certain adults receiving food stamps, because that's going to help everybody, right? That's going to help everyone so that less people are getting food stamps. So more people are going to be malnourished, which is going to help them get a job, right? Because we all know getting a job is the easiest when you haven't eaten for 6 weeks. And you know, I'm just like this, like, I mean, again, logic is thrown out the window when you come into a room with Republicans, but Jesus fucking Christ. The deal would also expand exemptions for veterans, people who are homeless, and former foster youth in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. So there are exemptions, but again, this is like, and like that's the problem with exemptions in any sort of situation, is in order to prove that you're eligible, we need to waste so much money in government bureaucratic garbage just to determine whether or not you're allowed to receive this benefit, right? So again, the exemptions do more harm than good in any case, so claw back some COVID-19 relief funds. The deal would rescind $30 billion in unobligated funds from the COVID-19 relief packages that Congress passed to respond to the pandemic. I love the idea that we're passing bills and there's just $30 billion. Like, we passed a bill, right? We allotted money, and then, you know, there's a pandemic, you know, millions of people died, and we just sat with $30 billion, like, in some box somewhere. Like, you know, like, what the fuck? You know, maybe we could have used that when, I don't know, millions of people were dying. Hey, maybe we can use it right now, because the pandemic didn't end, no matter what the 1984 government wants you to really believe. The pandemic's still here. People still get COVID. People are still dying from COVID. There's $30 billion. Nah, let's do something else with it. Let's fucking throw it into fucking Raytheon stock portfolio. It would retain $5 billion in funding to accelerate the development of COVID-19 vaccines and treatments, and funding for vaccines and treatments for the uninsured. Wow. So $25 billion of the $30 billion is being thrown down a funnel of garbage. But don't worry, everyone. We'll look into another vaccine, maybe. Who knows? Cut IRS funding. The agreement would cancel the total fiscal year 2023 staffing funding request that the House GOP says would go for new IRS agents. Now, why do they want to cut funding to the IRS? The new IRS agents were going to head a division, right, that goes after rich people. So basically what they're doing is they're cutting the IRS, which was, by the way, very recently funded to have, again, divisions that go after rich people. Now they're saying, no, you are not allowed to go after rich people. You have to go after mom and dad that own the fucking last fucking grocery store that's owned by a non-corporation on the fucking corner, right? Like, again, the fucking shit that these people are doing. Meanwhile, again, Americans don't give a shit because Americans are fucking stupid, lazy, dumb motherfuckers. They don't give a fuck about any of this. They don't give a fuck at all. They don't give a fuck if someone were to kill their kids. They don't give a fuck if someone wants to kill them. They don't give a fuck if someone's stealing all their money, as long as they can scroll 3 more TikToks before bed, right? That's the average American. But again, so now the average American, while they're scrolling through TikToks, are going to have to scroll through audit advertisements for auditing help companies, because that's basically what this is going to give: giant handouts to lawyers that help you when you get audited. So that's a great thing. Restart student loan repayments. Yeah, you know, remember when everyone went and signed a contract? It's called indentured servitude. Some would call it slavery, but we can't call it slavery because the 13th Amendment abandons or outlawed slavery unless you're a prisoner. And keep in mind, we just made everything the black people like against the law so we could throw them in jail. Thanks a lot, Richard Nixon, right? But anyway, so We just turned that into college. Yeah, that's right. Indentured servitude. You go to have the privilege of a bunch of overpaid morons who were bought and paid for by people like Jeffrey Epstein and other billionaires to shovel you full of a bunch of corporate garbage like libertarian economics that are taught in every college in the country. But hey, there's good stuff in college too. And what little good stuff, maybe you could have found it on the internet, but hey, you went to college instead. Now you're an indentured servant for the rest of your life, and they just have like a shitload of fucking like a percentage of your income just gets sent to them until you're like fucking 65 years old. But wait, everyone, the pandemic's silver lining was that, hey, you could maybe spend some money on groceries instead of your fucking debt slavery trap. But now, thanks to Kevin McCarthy and the beautiful Joe Biden administration, you have the privilege of paying your masters a percentage of your paycheck once again, everybody. So that's great. Under the deal, borrowers would have to begin paying back their student loans at the end of the summer, as the Biden administration already announced. According to another source familiar with the debt ceiling talks, the pause has been in effect since the COVID-19 pandemic began. The agreement would maintain Biden's plan to provide up to $20,000 in debt relief for qualifying borrowers. The source said the measure is currently before the Supreme Court, which is expected to rule on it in the coming weeks. By the way, not going to happen. If anyone thinks the court's going to back you up on that, the deal would also continue Biden's income-driven repayment plan. So good news, if you have $4 to your name, you don't have to give $3 to the people that enslaved you. But once you get that fifth dollar, then you're going to have to give $4, right? So again, you can just keep going as the climate shit. So essentially what happened here is Joe Biden, he gave up and he let the Republicans destroy him. Now you might be thinking, oh, Joe Biden, does he have any shame? How does he feel about this? Well, Joe Biden, when announcing that there was a successful deal, had this to say in response to people wondering whether or not what he had to say to his critics. Let's find out.
Mr. President, what do you say to members of your own party who say you've made too many concessions in this deal?
They'll find I didn't.
What? In case you didn't hear the question, how do you feel about your critics who say you gave them too much?
Mr. President, what do you say to members of your own party who say you've made too many concessions in this deal?
They'll find I didn't.
Well, how do you respond to this? They'll find I didn't. Well, all right, Joe, whatever you say, buddy. I guess all of that shit that I just read didn't actually happen. I guess. He said it was not true. Don't believe your lying eyes, everybody. The Republicans got nothing in the deal where they took everything from him. So, wow, we're really having a great time here in the USA industries. But Jesus fucking goddamn. So anyway, there you go. Republican states are threatening to use the COVID money for garbage. Anastasia, that may be what you're referring to. Oh, I got coffee. Everybody, I would like to dedicate this episode of Above It All to coffee. Shout outs. Shout outs to the Kif Calf. Democrats. Demon rats. The Democrat Party. Now that I've finished my SEO bingo board. Democrats, Dianne Feinstein dilemma. Party split over senators diminishing health. Now, again, we need to talk about this because this headline here from The Guardian is horrible. Diminishing health. The bitch is senile. She doesn't know what month it is. She doesn't know what year it is. She doesn't even remember. Literally, she was asked, how do you feel after being in the hospital for 3 months? She said, I wasn't in the hospital. I've been here the whole time. She literally does not even remember, the bulk of this year. She spent a majority of the year 2023 up until this point in the hospital. She doesn't even remember it. She doesn't even fucking remember it. I mean, diminishing health is one way to put that. I say that bitch is fully senile. That's my, layman's interpretation of the scenario, okay? Now, again, does that make her a bad person? No, I would say her years and years of screwing over the poor, screwing over minorities, and giving a bunch of money to corporations, that makes her a bad person. So, you know what? I just want to say this on the subject with regards to Dianne Feinstein. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's elder abuse. It's elder abuse that people are letting her stay in the Senate. I don't want to be around anyone making that argument. Not that it's a bad argument per se, but it's just not my argument. Elder abuse? Really? I say this. It's Dianne fucking Feinstein. I mean, she deserves some elder abuse. If anyone who is an elder deserves to be abused, it's this fucking corporate rotten whore, right? That's my opinion, okay? And that goes for all these fucking sellout politicians. So I say this. Anyone crying and whinging about elder abuse, I say, hey, maybe there's more important issues, like, I don't know, the fact that this country can't get any judges appointed because of this dumbass not resigning. So I say elder abuse is the silver lining here. That's just my opinion. While we're dealing with this whole giant destruction of our democratic country, hey, you know what? Elder abuse, not everything is bad when it comes to Dianne Feinstein. So just wanted to get that out there. But again, this is it's an emperor has no clothes type situation. For those of you that don't know, what the fuck am I talking about? Emperor's clothes? Why are emperors naked? I don't know. It's a story that basically a bunch of scam artists sold as an emperor invisible clothes for an extremely hefty penny, right? And the emperor didn't believe that it was true. And so he asked people in the town, hey, how do you like my clothes? And he's fucking butt-fuck naked. But hey, are the people in the town gonna say, you're fucking butt-fuck naked, dumbass? No, he's the goddamn emperor. You go against him, he's gonna fuck you up. So while this emperor is walking around with his dick out, right, everyone's like, wow, you look great with your new wardrobe. That's what we're dealing with here. Dianne Feinstein, she's not sick. There's no war in Ba Sing Se, motherfucker. She's fine. What are you talking about? Oh, by the way, Nancy Pelosi Jr. Did you know this, by the way, that Nancy Pelosi named her first kid Nancy Pelosi Jr.? I fucking can't with this shit. Nancy Pelosi, and I'm not even joking, gave birth to someone named Nancy Pelosi. What the fuck? Like, if that's not proof that these are like fucking replicating machines of some kind, like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, come the fuck on, man. Like, that's some robot fucking, ex machina ass kind of situation going on. But anyway, the Democratic Party is facing an internal rift over how to handle the diminishing abilities of one of their own. There's an open debate within the party about whether 89-year-old Senator Dianne Feinstein, whose health and cognitive abilities have come into question, by the way, like, goddamn, she literally does not remember the last 6 months. Oh, we have no idea how she's feeling. I mean, she looks like a skipper to me. She doesn't even know what year it is, but hey, you know what I mean, man? Like, come on. Like, this fucking shit. Questions over Feinstein's ability to effectively represent California, the most populous U.S. state, have been a sensitive issue for Democrats going back years. As their diminishing health plays out in the public eye, there is a renewed urgency to the situation. Riding out her term in absentia will retire until retirement next year is also not a viable option with Feinstein. The tie-breaking vote on the Senate Judiciary Committee, which holds confirmation. Like, Joe Biden literally is like, oh, the one good thing I'm doing with my presidency, which is getting, liberal judges. Now, again, we're not talking about a judge who's actually worth a damn. We're talking about some liberals, some milquetoast ass, I went to Harvard and, I have a gay cousin kind of liberals, right? Like, these are not like the fucking renegades we need or whatever to shake up the system, right? And so, but that's the one good thing Joe Biden was able to do. Joe Biden is like, oh, no more judges? You know what? Dianne, whatever. And this really it fundamentally boils down to Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. They hate black women so much that they're willing to destroy the country's judicial system and totally paralyze our ability to nominate and approve new judges because they hate black women. Why do I say that? The governor of California said if Dianne resigned, that he would appoint a black woman to be her replacement. Nancy Pelosi has said that she endorses Adam Schiff. You may not know this. Adam Schiff, not a black woman. So she hates black women so fucking much that she's willing to abuse one of her longtime, she's known Dianne for like 50, 60 years. One of her longest time friends in politics just abused the shit out of her, which again, I say, fuck it, let them fight. And Joe Biden's just sitting there like letting Kevin McCarthy go into the bank vault and come out with all the cash, right? So, I mean, like, we got a great Democratic Party here. We got a bunch of fucking 70 or 80-year-olds losing their shit. It's like the Real Housewives of the Democratic Party, except wait a second, we're all relying on them in order to eat next week. So, whoa! It's all falling apart, everybody. So you can read the rest of this. Some people have, I think it's 6 or 7. Maybe it's 7 now, I'm not sure. Democrats only, by the way, like it should be like a 79% or a 90%, I don't even know where 79, but it should be way more than 7 Democrats to call for her to resign, but it's only 7 or so. Anyway, I don't really care about this article. I just saw this in the news feed and thought, you know, I can use this as a way to remind myself to talk about Dianne Feinstein. But anyway, again, if you are out there, if you're a news commentator, don't make the elder abuse point. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, I was going to say that that's the least of my concerns, but it's not, right? The least of my concerns are, like, I don't know who's going to be the person who's going to win the Senate seat in 2024. That would be the least of my concerns. That is to say, elder abuse is not on the list of my concerns because I'm not concerned about that. That's a feature of this whole dynamic. That's a feature. That's like the main attraction, you know? That's like when you go to the movie theaters and they're advertising the other movies you wish you paid to see. Instead, you're watching fucking this fucking shit. I'm gonna go watch those movies. You ever go to the movie theater, you know, and they say like, you know, when you're done with this movie, go watch this one. I say, fuck it, I'm gonna go watch this now. I'm gonna get the hell out, you know, because you did the rip ticket. You can just go to any theater you want. So I say, where, you know. Anyway, that's the end of my comedy bit. Fuck Feinstein. And there you go. So. Oh boy. Oh. Anyway, we got a splooting dog type situation. Look at this. Max, is this true? Max, are these rumors true? Are you a splooting dog? He's fleeing the scene of the crime, everybody. Exposed. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. All right. Everybody, it is May today. It's also Monday. For those of you that don't know, I will be 27 on Wednesday. So, just throwing that information out there. I'm going to be 27 on Wednesday. I will not be here on Wednesday. I'm not guaranteeing you, but it is very possible that I'm taking Thursday off. It's not guaranteed, right? But, you know, who knows how I'm going to wake up on Thursday morning. So, but anyway, that's my personal blog. I'm getting old. Going senile. I'm going to end up like Feinstein pretty soon here. So. State Farm. You know about State Farm? Has anyone ever heard? It's an insurance company. Now, real quick, before I get into this, by the way, State Farm stops home insurance sales in California citing wildfire risks. You might not know this. I mean, you should know this, but what is the insurance industry? The entire insurance industry revolves around denying people's insurance. That's the scam. That's literally what it is they take a shitload of people's money and spend that money making sure that the product that they purchase isn't actually allowed to be delivered to them. Now, imagine this. Imagine you go to the grocery store. You go to the cash register, and the cashier's job is to prevent you from purchasing groceries. Wouldn't that be a little, I don't know, weird? Wouldn't that be like a fucking strange thing, right? Like, that's a little... But that is what the entire insurance industry is predicated upon. That is their only goal, because how else do they make money? We live in a capitalist society, and everyone needs to grow, grow, grow! 10x, 100x, 1000x, let's go, let's make money, right? So how do you make more money when insurance claims are going up? You deny claims. It's that simple, right? So let's read. State Farm is stopping new home insurance sales in California, citing wildfire risks and skyrocketing construction costs. That literally, I mean, that's their purview. That's their job. That's like saying Ford is getting out of the car making business because, like, fucking steering wheels are too expensive. I don't know anything about cars, by the way. All right, I mean, like, that's your fucking wheelhouse, bro. What the fuck? The insurance giants stopped accepting applications for all business and personal lines, property, and casualty insurance in California on May 27. However, State Farm's decision does not affect existing auto insurance. State Farm General, blah, blah, blah. California has seen an average of more than 7,000 wildfires each year, consuming an average of over 2 million acres over the past 5 years, according to data from the governor's office. Scientists and California authorities blame the climate crisis for the intensity of the fire seasons. Now, here's the other thing. Is the government of California going to step in? You know, the government. Are they going to insure you for when a fire destroys your whole neighborhood? Oh, God. I mean, like, this fucking shit is crazy. So we have an insurance company. Their goal is to insure people when their house burns down, right? So people's houses are burning down, and they're like, whoa, I'm not ready for this. The factors behind State Farm's move are beyond the agency's control. That's the thing. They have no control. They're stepping out of California. It's just like, it's like when the tide comes in, the tide comes out. You can't explain that. What the fuck? You can't. A tide comes in, tide goes out. You can't explain that. I mean, it's the insurance company that doesn't want to pay out insurance claims. I mean, come on, man. It's like God's plan or some shit. Like, they have nothing. Like, come on. It's important to note that the current State Farm customers are not affected, and no non-renewals are being issued as a result of this announcement. Don't even know how that's related, but statewide, State Farm, which is the largest provider of auto and home insurance in the U.S., with its affiliates, claimed it would still work with the California Department of Insurance and lawmakers to build up market capacity in the state. However, it's necessary to take these actions now to improve the company's financial strength. You know, people having their houses, being paid for when everything is burnt to a crisp and they get, you're 50 years old, 60 years old, you've been paying for fire insurance forever, your entire house gets burnt to a crisp, and then some guys you have to argue on a phone, to like say that you deserve to have your life not be thrown into shambles. Well, now you're not even going to have the privilege of arguing on the phone. You're just not going to be able to purchase any fire insurance or home insurance, I guess is the more specific one here. And I just shit blows my mind, man, that people are just walking around and like, oh, insurance companies. Yeah, that's a thing. Makes perfect sense. Don't you want to be insured? Don't you want to be insured? No, motherfucker. I don't want to be insured. I want to have insurance by the government for free that if I get sick or if my house catches on fucking fire, that I'm probably not going to have my life be completely destroyed. That would be ideal, especially when the government is causing all the fires in, greenhouse gas emissions over the course of 50, 60 years, even though they knew it was causing climate change. So the government caused the climate to change, then the climate change caused the fire, and now the government's saying that they have no... I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I mean, personal responsibility. You should have home insurance, and now you can't even buy home insurance. Anyway. It's one bunch of fucked up bullshit. There you go. That's fun. Oh, God. Lord have motherfucking mercy. On my God for motherfucking sake and soul. So, I just had to get that out of the way. So I got some good news. Hold on, I gotta figure out the best way to start this one.
Today, the Knoxville Fire Department helped its first newborn surrendered at a baby box. Firefighters were notified at KFD Fire Station 17 off Western Avenue just after midnight. That's the only place in the state with a safe haven baby box where mothers can anonymously surrender their newborns within 2 weeks of giving birth. KFD says that's exactly what happened here.
Thankfully, there was absolutely nothing wrong with this beautiful baby boy. So really, they just kind of had an opportunity to clean the baby up, snuggle the baby a little bit, and then get the baby to the hospital.
KFD says they hope they can help more people in crisis by offering this resource 24/7. We have more information right now on WBIR.com.
So remember when all these Republican states started cracking down on abortion? Like, if you even think of going to the doctor because you feel slightly uncomfortable, like, we're going to send you to jail for 90,000 years and then also kill your doctor with the death penalty. And then we'll wait for you to give birth to your stillborn baby, and then we'll fucking throw you in the electric chair for even thinking about going to the goddamn doctor, you fucking wretched bitch. Come on, listen to the man, right? So remember when all these Republican states were doing that? And then they started marketing these baby boxes, Remember when they're like, don't worry, everyone. We're jailing people for going to the doctor because, they don't want a kid. Don't worry, you can have the kid and then throw your kid in a box by the fire department. But now we're getting positive propaganda, like local news stations, by the way, right? They're not going to do a segment about, like, isn't it kind of fucked up that we're in this world where we're dropping babies off at fire stations? No, like, how did we get here? What happened to our world in order for this to happen, where we're dropping babies off on the fucking fire station's front doorstep? You know what I mean, right? Like, nah, they're just gonna say, yay, the baby box, woo! You put the baby in the box, woo! Like, that's it. That's all we get. Just, okay, all right. We threw the baby in the box, and more to come, everybody. So if you have any babies and you're thinking, you know what, don't really want this whole baby thing, well, instead of, having an abortion, how about let's send you to a torture facility, which, by the way, can we talk about how forced labor is a violation of the 13th Amendment? I mean, literally, what does the 13th Amendment say? You are not allowed to be enslaved, right? So if the government tells you you are forced to give a child, I don't know, man, that seems like slavery to me. But hey, what do I know, right? But anyway, so you're forced into becoming a slave for 8 months, right? Your body is destroyed. You might even have like a hemorrhage of some kind. Hey, you might even die on the fucking table. But don't worry, we'll throw your baby in a box at the fire station. That'll make everything a lot better. Holy fucking moly. Because orphanages don't already have it rough enough. Jesus motherfucking Christ. Isn't that great? So, thought I'd help you out with that one. You know, people's mornings were like, oh, I'm depressed this morning. Don't worry. I got you. Baby box. Fuck. All right. Everybody, I have a public service announcement. If you're going around bears, I suggest this. Don't go around bears. You know? If you're thinking, oh, I'm going to go on a walk. Go look at some bears. Don't go on that walk. Walk somewhere else. Why is that? Well, in Minnesota, someone was seriously injured by a bear attack. That's right, everybody. We're getting into local news, everybody, where we're talking about the things that really matter. Like a local woman in Minnesota. Bear attack. Bear attack. Now, here's something. I read this article already, and I'm a little concerned. There's like, you ever watch movies, and have you ever heard the phrase or the trope Chekhov's gun? Where the idea is if a gun is introduced in the movie at some point, it's going to be used later in the climax, right? Well, they introduce a character, Chekhov's dog, in the story, and then they forget about the payoff, right? So let's keep going here. A black bear attacked. I don't know why they have to be a black bear, but a black bear attacked a woman in Minnesota, seriously injuring her, state officials said Saturday. The woman was staying at a cabin near Gull Lake when she let her dog outside early Friday. Where the fuck is the dog? Is the dog okay? Not you, Maxie. Everybody, it's Max the dog. He is fine. There's no black bears where I'm at, so Max is fine. So the state's Department of Natural Resources, DNR, said in a release she went out to check on her dog and was attacked. The bear swiped at the woman, striking her in several places, then left the area. But what about the dog? What about the dog? Like, she let the dog out, she went out to go check up on the dog, she got fucked up, and that's the end of the story? Where the hell did the dog go? Is Doggy okay? Did the dog get killed? There were no reports of bear activity before the attack. Wildlife officials believe the bear was startled by the woman's dog and attacked the woman as a way to defend itself. But what about the dog? What about the fucking dog? Dogs and bears don't mix, according to a department advisory. Letting dogs chase, lunge, or bark at bears is asking for trouble. Don't force a bear to defend itself. Okay, great. I'm glad we know that. I'm glad that exists. I mean, this woman maybe would have benefited from knowing that knowledge. But is the dog okay? Is the fucking dog okay? You can't just say a woman and a dog, like, were at the scene of a bear attack and not tell me if the fucking dog's okay. Let's keep going. Officers with the DNR are monitoring the area for bears that could pose a threat to... Are they monitoring the area for the dog? Is the dog fucking gay? Like, come on, man! This was the 10th bear attack involving serious injuries to a human that the state's DNR has documented. How many serious attacks on dogs? Do we know? Like, can we get a single update on this fucking dog? In Pennsylvania last week, a black bear attacked 2 young children. I don't give a fuck about those dumbass kids. I hope they're dying in the hospital. What I do give a fuck about is if this woman's dog is okay. Is that doggy okay? Now they're telling me about some dumbass kids in Pennsylvania playing around black bears. Stupid fucking kids. Stupid fucking parents. Next. I don't give a shit about that story. I'm gonna focus on this story. How can you tell us about some other story where we're not done with this fucking story? While black bears are rarely aggressive, Minnesota's DNR advised people to remove sources of food outside their homes. How about, can the Minnesota DNR advise me on the status of this woman's dog? Like, come on, like, I want to know. So anyway, if a black bear makes contact, do not play dead. The DNR advised, fight back aggressively. So we have no update on the dog. All we know is the dog could be killed. The dog could be fine. The dog could have gotten not a scratch on them. Or they're dead. Or they ran away. Or they didn't. We don't fucking know. But what we do know is 2 kids in Pennsylvania got fucked up too. And you know what? I don't give a fuck. So just a shout out to this woman for making her 5 minutes of fame by getting fucked up by a black bear. That's pretty cool. By the way, shout outs to Black Bear, the movie. I highly recommend that film. Check it out. Watch it on mushrooms if that's something you enjoy, because that film will fuck you up. Anyway, there you go. Drinking coffee on this wonderful Monday morning. You have no idea what I just witnessed. Are you seeing this? Look at this. Like, he knows, somehow he knows I'm paying attention to him. Like, Max, why? Why? Max, I'm talking to the TV. Oh, he's been activated. So that's Max the dog, everyone. He's being a dog. He's acting dog-esque. So, folks, subscribe to my other YouTube channel. Trying to get monetized. Back me up. Or don't. I mean, you don't have to, but you really fucking should. And I will judge you if you don't. So, alright. You ever really think about the absolute state of the United States? A country with so-called free speech, enshrined in the First Amendment to the Constitution of these United States. And yet we live in a country full of fucked up motherfuckers who are constantly power tripping in their little teeny tiny worlds, trying to squeeze any sort of freedom of speech out of people, especially when they're younger. So this story here, I mean, this is just like a bizarre one, okay? This is a very, very bizarre story. A judge ruled that a school district could bar a student from wearing a Mexican and American flag sash at graduation, but she did it anyway. Like, now, I don't want to be here and talk about, like, important problems. Why don't we focus on, I don't know, child hunger? Why don't we focus on, gun violence, right? But I mean, like, the idea that a fucking school district would get so absolutely fucking triggered about someone wearing a Mexican sash at graduation. Oh my dear heavens, the decorum is at risk if someone wears a Mexican sash at graduation. Like, imagine this becoming an issue. Like, imagine, right? Like, what the fuck? Imagine this being an issue. Imagine, like, you hear, like, oh, did you hear someone's planning on wearing a Mexican flag sash? Like, I just imagine that. Like, who cares? Jesus. Colorado high school student has defied, by the way, this person is pretty badass. A judge basically says, fuck you, bitch. And she is like, yeah, how about fuck you, bitch instead. And she went and did it anyway. So just hats off to her. She's pretty cool. Has defied a court ruling on wearing a Mexican and American flag sash at graduation. A federal judge has ruled that a local school district could bar a student from wearing the flag sash at her high school graduation. I mean, fuck, dude. Like, judges should be doing more important shit. Like, I don't know, judging whether or not cops should go to jail because they shot the 15th black person this week. You know, that's what judges should be doing. Instead, judges are ruling on the side of being against free speech, saying that school districts are allowed to be petty tyrants on people's fucking graduation dress code. Like, fuck you with your fucking dress code. Fuck you with your dress code. Anyone that's even remotely in favor of any kind of these school dress codes needs to go fuck themselves, okay? Because it's fucking annoying garbage to hear people, you're wearing a green sash when our sashes are supposed to be blue. No! Right? Like, fuck, man. Think about, like, how much fucking ink is in the printers is more of a concern when they're printing out these diplomas is more of a concern than what fucking color the sash from some bitch is wearing. Like, oh my god. Okay. Naomi Pena Villasano had tried to sue Garfield County School District 16 with her attorney saying their ban on her sash violated free speech and unfairly prevented her from representing her culture. But Nina Y. Wang, the judge presiding over the case, argued that the act of wearing a sash during a graduation event was school-sponsored speech, not private speech. What? Like, is this bitch on drugs? Is Nina Y. Wang like a fucking cocaine addict or some shit? What? And okay, so it's school-sponsored speech, and therefore that means that the school has every right to like deny you your diploma because you wore a green sash? That's so dumb. Oh, Jesus. The school district is permitted to restrict that speech as it sees fit in the interest of the kind of graduation it would like to hold. In a Change.org petition, Pena Villasano wrote that my high school administration and superintendent have said no twice. However, there are no written policies that state otherwise. I will not allow my culture, heritage, and nationality to be shut down from being represented. So there's no rule against it. I love this. I ran into this when I was in school a lot, of teachers like saying that's against the rules, and then I ask them to point to the rules, and they're like, well, actually, like, I mean, like, that's the thing, like, these motherfuckers defy, it's the rules, decorum, but it's actually not. It's just that they're a bunch of petty tyrants that love, like, squeezing out their own little small droplets of power whenever they fucking can. Oh, some bitch wants to wear a green sash instead of a blue one. Let's get a fucking private squad of assassins to go take them down. How dare her? Like, I mean, like, what the fuck, man? Seriously, talk about a non-issue. I'm a 200%er, 100% American, 100% Mexican, she told a recent school board meeting. She graduated on Saturday wearing her sash despite the ruling. With the sash initially covered by her graduation gown, Pena Villasano climbed the stage to collect her diploma. The 18-year-old student proudly unveiled her controversial sash just before it was her turn. I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. I was super nervous. I mean, I just imagine this fucked up planet that we're living on where it's like, are you nervous because, you know, we're going to run out of food in the next couple of years because of climate change? Oh, are you nervous that our water supplies are being poisoned? Oh, are you nervous that nuclear bombs are going to drop? No, I'm nervous. Now, again, I'm not saying this as a way to disparage the student here. She did the right thing, and she's great. I'm just talking about the society that puts people in these positions. Like, no. I'm nervous because I wore a green sash on my graduation. Like, what a waste of human emotion, for Christ's sake. We're spending our time and energy being nervous about some dumbass shit when instead we should be nervous about, I don't know, the fact that we're all malnourished and that 95% of Americans don't eat vegetables. That's what we should be fucking nervous about, right? Like, I mean, just like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of world puts people in the positions where they're more afraid about the color of their sash than they are about nuclear annihilation? Now, I don't mean to be whataboutism here, but I mean, like, Jesus fucking Christ, you know? Wow. Peña Villasano acknowledged that her free speech fight took away from her graduation, but said, I had to focus on standing up for my rights in the past month instead of celebrating. That, you know what? I'm going to say this. That is a celebration of your graduation. You know, personally, I didn't graduate. I dropped out of high school and got a fucking GED when I was 16, because why the fuck would I stay in school to learn a bunch of shit that I could learn on the computer for free, right? But anyway, so I don't give a shit about any of that. But, like, if I were to, you know, if graduation is this big event, making it into, like, yeah, you went into, like, a court battle with your school to show off your heritage, and you, like, that's a cool story. So I just want to say this much. That is a celebration, and I feel like, you know, she's probably gonna, you know, she shouldn't have had to go through this. That's a duh, right? But, you know, the fact that she did, I mean, it's, you know, it's a lesson to be taught from an early age, and she made the right decision every step of the way. So, again, shout outs to her. But just the idea that a school district is willing to fucking take this to court. Like, I mean, again, like, she, the student, being willing to take this to court, that's good. She's fighting power. But the school is like, you know, like, imagine someone walks in, you're the attorney, like, you're the superintendent, you're at a meeting, the attorney walks in, yo, this bitch is suing us, what do we do? Like, and your first thought is like, just let her have it, this isn't worth it. Like, no. The superintendent was like, no, let's sue her back. Like that, like top 10 cases that should be settled out of court immediately. This fucking shit, man. What the fuck? Like, the school district was like, oh no, yeah, we're actually gonna fight this. We're gonna defend this. I mean, Jesus, fuck mother, man. Talk about embarrassing. But hey, it's America, so what are you gonna do? The Above It All show is brought to you by Max the dog. Thanks for being a dog, Max. Keep it up. Everybody, I've got one more subject that I'm going to be covering today. So if you want to have any of your Q cocks being cocked or cued, cock them up, and I'll try to look at them after this next story. Ugh. Hey! Funny seeing you here. Welcome to the Above It All show. On the Above It All show, we cover controversial subjects, and by we, I mean me. I'm the only one here. We cover controversial subjects, including what flavor of ice cream is your favorite, and more. So subscribe today. Consider giving me money on Cash App or Patreon or whatever it is that makes you happy, you precious little viewer. So anyway, with all that bullshit out of the way, let's talk about our final news item. What the fuck? These autoplay videos, man. Like, okay, come on, just load and then pause. All right, brilliant. Sometimes waking up in the United States can be a traumatic event. Sometimes when you wake up, you look on your phone and you find out, hey, turns out someone called the cops on me. Not for breaking into their garage and stealing their collectible, whatever the fuck they keep. I don't know why they're keeping it in the garage. That's not why the cops are called in. Not for peeing on someone's front porch. No. You didn't get any police called because you did something wrong. You just went to sleep. You woke up, and then out of nowhere, the cops are called on you. That is a uniquely American thing. So, stepping into the limelight today, we have a Illinois teacher. Parents called the police after an Illinois teacher offers an LGBTQ book to her students. Now, let's flip this script a little bit. Imagine you're a parent. Now, actually, real quick before I even go through this whole, comedic framing device, I just want to say this. If you are a conservative, you should not be allowed around children. I believe we should take the sex offender approach to Republicans, conservatives, anyone to the right of Adolf Hitler, which is pretty much 20 to 25% of Americans. I know you'll get triggered when you hear that. You shouldn't be allowed around children. If you are calling the cops because your kid is reading that gay people exist, you are a child abuser. You are teaching your child to be a hateful piece of garbage, which puts them at a disadvantage in society, which again, if you train your child to drive incorrectly and then they end up killing someone in a car crash, how is that any different than when you tell your kids that gay people are less than and then they go shoot up a gay nightclub, right? So again, kids should not be allowed to be around conservatives. That is damaging to them. So imagine this. You're a parent. Your kid comes home from school with a list of books on a reading list. You read something like It's Okay to Be Gay, and your first thought process is not, I'm going to call the school board and ask them about this. Not, I'm going to have a conversation with my child, respect them as another individual and tell them what's right and what's wrong about this book. No, I am going to call the motherfucking police. Calling the police. Now, I want to tell a personal story. Those of you who've been around know about this. Those of you that are new might not. A couple of years ago, I did a lot of active protesting. And I got hit with a charge, and I was required to go to court several times. Now, what was this charge? They accused me of filing a false police report. I had to go to court several times. I was mandated at gunpoint. What happens if you don't go to court? People with guns hunt you down, enslave you, and drag you to court. That's what happened. So I was forced at gunpoint to go to court because I allegedly filed a false police report. Now, just for clarity, I didn't file any police report, let alone a truthful or a false one. I didn't file any police report, right? But I had to go to court over filing a false police report, which is apparently against the law, right? Meanwhile, we have fuckers calling the cops because their kid read a book in school. I'm thinking to myself, maybe we should have a law about filing false police reports, right? I'm just like, what the fuck? You called the cops because your kid was reading a book at school. Think about this shit, man. Wow. An Illinois teacher of over 20 years had the cops called on her after she gave her middle school students the option of reading a book about the option. Yo, the option! I need you. The option. So she had a bookshelf with 80 books on it, and one of them had a gay person in it. It wasn't that she like handcuffed all the kids to the desks and then started like getting the projector where she like started playing porn in the fucking classroom and then like locking the doors and like, you know, ever watch A Clockwork Orange, you know, and when they fucking do that thing where they force the guy's eyes open, you ever see A Clockwork Orange? And then all the like the 7th graders are watching hardcore gay pornography. That did not happen. Now that's what the parents want to pretend happened. That did not happen, okay? She had a book in a list of like 9,000 books where that book had a gay character in it. Like, I need... What the fuck? All right. Juno Dawson's This Book is Gay, which quickly became the epicenter of a massive controversy when parents called the police over book choice. Quote, I wanted to give them a smattering, great word usage, of fiction and nonfiction books to choose from on a day that we call Reading Monday, Bonner told Today.com. Unfortunate name, by the way. We just read and celebrate books. Bonner, 42, learned that parents had gotten a hold of pictures of their 8th graders snapped on their phones of the book during class. The parents filed a police report against the teacher. Now, again, I just want to be very clear. Like, again, this is just my own personal story. I had to go to court because cops claimed I filed a false police report. And yet, we have motherfuckers. Now, again, just to be very clear, it is funny. I never filed a police report. I didn't even do any of that. They just made it up. But we have people calling the cops because because a school teacher had a book in fucking English class. And they're sitting on the cops, filing a fucking police report. Like, what? Like, I'm just like, that blows my mind, okay? That's crazy ass fucking shit. The notion that I was putting children in danger because of books. I didn't feel safe. I knew I couldn't go back. The best-selling nonfiction book has been promoted by publishers as an informational guide for everyone, regardless of gender or sexual preference. It is also the 9th most banned book in America, according to Publishers Weekly. You know what I want to do? I want to write a book that's literally just like a picture of someone with like a pride flag and said like, this book will turn your kid gay, right? And then just so that I can get my book banned and then the book will become best-selling. Like, I just want to say, if you want to get a best-selling book, there's an idea for you. I just gave it to you for free. Reading this book will give your kid gayness.org. That's a good name for you. Okay. The day after she learned of the police report, Bonner received a letter saying she'd been placed on administrative leave. She got fired. An English teacher was fired for having a book in English class. And I just need you to really, like, this is why I maintain a tough on parents approach on my show. If you are somebody who thinks that you should have a child and you still believe that gay people are evil, you should not be allowed to raise children. You should have your children taken from you and put into foster care. Now, people might be saying, oh, foster care is shitty too. I say we 9,000x the funding to foster care orphanages. I say we make state-sponsored, beautiful parenting facilities. Maybe even give the kids to gay couples, right? Now, I need you to really, I need people to understand this. Republicans are insane. I need you to get this through your head, okay? There's two kinds of Republicans. Both of them are evil, just to be clear. Both of them are evil, but in different ways. The one kind are the insane freaks, these people, the ones that call the cops on an English teacher for having a book in English class. Those people. And then there's the other Republicans who are just like, well, those guys are a little crazy, but I'm a common sense conservative. I'm not like those crazies. They're enabling the mental illness that is conservative thought. There is no such thing as a good conservative. It is an oxymoron. Now, I just want to be very clear. You can be a good person and a conservative. Right? You can be one of those people that's like, I've been voting Republican since I was in high school, and I go soup kitchen 8 times a week. You can be a good person in spite of being a Republican. But it is impossible to be a good Republican, a good conservative, right? Now, again, cognitive dissonance is alive and well in America. People can be individually kind, and like when it comes to politics, they want to kill black people. I don't know. It's weird. It is strange how like you can talk to someone they're the nicest person in the world, and then you bring up, oh, I met a black person once 5 years ago, and then they start, sounding like a KKK member in 1859, right? So again, right, I need you to understand. Now, a lot of people, like, they say, oh, I have a Republican in my family. They don't want to kill gay people. They don't want to kill black people. Yeah, they do. They're just afraid to talk about it in public. If you are a Republican and you give Republican politicians power, you are doing more to kill black people, to kill gay people, to kill trans people, to kill Jewish people, to kill immigrants, to kill Muslims, to kill all kinds of different people in different minority groups. You are doing more in that direction than any amount of effort in your soup kitchen could possibly ever do. Because if you did not enable these people, they would not have the power to do the crimes that they're doing. Republicans, politicians, are evil creatures of evil. Okay, these are motherfuckers that want to send us back to before Jesus was even a figure of our conversation, right? They want to send us back before we even knew how to speak English, before we knew how to speak words, before the language was even developed. They want to send us back to the fucking Stone Age, motherfucker. I need you to understand that. And anyone and everyone who enables them in any fashion is a garbage son of a bitch. Now, again, they can have individual acts of kindness in some areas. They're good people. They can be whatever. But overall, they are a net negative on society. And until they have a reckoning with that, they need to be treated as such. Republicans should not be around children. I fundamentally believe we should label Republicans in the same way that we label sex offenders. If you're a sex offender, you can't be X amount of feet from the school. If you're a Republican, you can't be X amount of feet from the school. It makes sense. If you actually cared about the quality of life that kids had in this country, you would agree with me. You know it's true. You know it's factual. Now, again, I don't support that in the grand scheme of things. I would rather Republicans stopped existing. I would rather them, I don't know, maybe they should try going to school themselves. Maybe they should try reading a book themselves. I would rather Republicans stop giving all of their time and energy to corporations that are going to kill them anyway, and instead give all their time and energy to their fellow person. That's what I would prefer. But until that happens, I say this. You got Republicans in the family, do not let them near your kids because they will corrupt them. If anyone is a groomer, it is the Republicans. Again, what is the largest institution of child abuse in the world? Religion! Organized religion. So if you tell your kid that Jesus is real, you are doing more to harm your kid and put them on the path to being groomed than anyone else possibly could for reading a book. If you bring your kid to church, you are putting them in more danger than reading a book could possibly ever do. If you bring your kid to Sunday school while you go to work and leave them alone with the pastor, you are doing more damage to your child than a book could ever dream of. And again, facts don't care about your feelings, motherfucker. Go cry about it. So there you go. Republicans are still crazy, and we're not going to learn any lessons from this, and we're just going to have to keep dealing with this because people are too embarrassed and lazy to do anything about it. And people just enable these insane fucking psychopaths. People just enable them. Oh, you're a Republican? Well, as long as you're not like Marjorie, then you're a common sense conservative, and everything is going across the aisle, bipartisan. Again, there's two kinds of conservatives. Both of them are Nazis. One of them knows they're a Nazi and they're proud of it and they won't shut the fuck up about it. And the other side doesn't even know that they're a Nazi because they're fucking too stupid to realize what they're doing in their life. Right? That's it. There's only two options. If that offends you, how about you read a fucking book for once? I don't know what to tell you, but there you go. So anyway, there you go. If anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to let me know. It is my birthday on Wednesday, so I'll be taking Wednesday off, but I normally take Wednesday off, so that's not too much of an announcement, though. Depending on how Wednesday goes for me, who knows? I may take Thursday off. It's really hard to say. Just assume I'm not going to do a show on Thursday, and if I pop up, I pop up. But there's a good chance I won't, so, there you go. Any food plans? Not particularly. Maybe I'll eat some leftovers, I'm that way with people who voted for Joe Biden. Damn, Retro Boomer calling me out like this. Thousands of kids just announced abused by priests in multiple cities. I think I covered that on Friday. What can we do to get you to watch The Princess Bride? Just hold on for dear life and I'll watch it eventually. Is tomorrow the B-Day stream? I don't even know what a B-Day stream is. Today, I guess. I don't know. I'm not doing a stream for my birthday. So, today, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, are all the birthday streams. So, it's a good Q&A sesh we got going on here. Anyway, I may or may not stream on twitch.tv later today, as you know. So feel free to follow me or don't, whatever, it's all good. I'm trying to diversify a little bit. Again, I've been saying this pretty much all years. I am working on side projects, and some of them I've talked about, some of them I haven't yet, but I'm still working on them. And the dog involved in the bear attack was safe and unharmed. That's good. But there you go. I'm trying to make more time to work on those other things because, spending too much time on this, and I want to work on other stuff. So I am going to be taking Sundays off for the foreseeable future, at least until I reduce the size of the material on my plate. Any chatter about going back on there? You tell them, Letterhack. Slide. You have more power and influence in that circle than I do, Letterhack. You gotta be my voucher. I don't know anybody. These are not my friends. I talk to them on like a combined total of 5 hours in my life, You know them way better than I. You ask them that question, That's all I can. Yes. I saw that that Illuminati person decided that she was going full Trump. And she was saying, I will not be silenced. She made this tweet thread. I will not be silenced. And then she sent out cease and desist letters to people that were talking about her on YouTube. So I'm not going to lie to you. That makes me really want to talk about her more just so that I can get a cease and desist letter. Because I would I just love, I will not be silenced. Meanwhile, by the way, I'm going to send my lawyer to your house to silence you. So, you know what I mean? Goddamn, when we talk about dumb, fuck, shit for brain bitches, that's the kind of shit we're talking about. So, oh, you told them, Letterhack? Well, they're not listening to your advice, that's for sure. You know what I gotta do? I gotta start one of these panel show podcasts. The only problem is I hate people, right? But then while maintaining that hatred for people, I hate other people, that is to say, anyone who's not me. But that is distinct from people, which includes me. So I hate people, which includes me, right? And then I hate other people, which does not include me, but I simultaneously hate both of those people. And then also, I hate talking to people. So I'm like, I'm not good at this, right? I'm not good at having panel shows and podcasts. This is like, I am out of my element, right? This is like, you put me in the middle of a fucking like basketball court and then like throw me the ball and then say it's, you know, game's on, you know? Like, I don't, like, I'd be like, oh, you know, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. So, needless to say, not my strong suit. I'd like to take the whole month of June off because I'm so busy outside. Got a lot of vegetables planted yesterday, building a rock garden, etc. Killing my back like usual. Love you guys. This is from Environmental Coffee House. Thank you for the message. Hook says, really good shoe. Q-Cock, what are you going to eat today? I don't know. You should consider letting me and or other people take over your show for you if you go on vacation. Well, the thing about that, letter hack, is that while I would love to do that, and that does sound entertaining, right? It would kind of, I would feel compelled to watch the stream anyway. You know, maybe if there was like some mechanism to where I was unable to watch the stream. Because if I'm just like, if I feel compelled to watch what you're saying on my behalf, on my channel, then I'm not going to be able to enjoy my time off. But it's an option. Who knows? It's possible. I don't know though, Letterhack. You think you could fill in for these shoes? I don't wear shoes when I do this show. I do this barefoot. You think you could fill in for my feet? 12 a.m. on the morning? No, I like to do that at noon. I don't know. Maybe if Letterhack can send me a video of him saying fuck 38 times in one paragraph. But you can't just string them together and you can't just say fuck, fuck, fuckity, fuck, fuck. Right? Like if you can write a paragraph, it can be about anything. And you just have to have 38 fucks in the paragraph. Then I think you can graduate into becoming a substitute. That'll be the test. All right. Anyway, that is my show. That's all I got. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat some leftovers. I'm hungry. I got food in the fridge. I'm gonna go eat the food. Should I heat it up? Should I just eat that shit cold? What do you think? Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, I guess. Like, will I? I don't even know.